Hi, I think I'm on live. So welcome to this week's Money Alchemy class. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're on live, come and say hello, drop us an emoji and let me know that you're here. So I hope you're all well and having a fantastic week and enjoying this amazing, wonderful, sunny weather that we're having. I finally feel like summer is finally here. Yay! So if you're on live, come and say hello. Drop me an emoji. Let me know where you're based. If you're watching on the replay, drop a hashtag replay in the comments. And I'm streaming on StreamYard. So if you are commenting, please give StreamYard permission. I can say somebody says hello, it just says Facebook user. So you just need to grant StreamYard permission to show your name. So if you can just, there should be a link in the actual post just to give them permission to see your name. So hello, Facebook user. I can't tell what your name, who it is. Let me just see if I can see it on actual Facebook. So, oh, it's Julia. Hi, Julia. How are you doing? Good to see you. So very happy to be here. I know I always say that, but I am. I say I'm using StreamYard to go live, so please give StreamYard permission to see your name when you leave, so that you can, when you leave a comment, basically. So thank you all for joining this group. I'm very happy to have you here. We are so close to 1,000 members. I did have somebody who was spamming in all the comments, so I've had to remove them from the group with all these spammy messages. So we're still not quite at 1,000 members. But if you're new to the group, or if this is the first time that you've joined me live, I go live on Tuesdays to deliver this Money Alchemy class. And I deliver training on different topics such as self-care and marketing, and my favorite topics, money mindset, money habits, money blocks and pricing strategies. So if you want to catch any of the previous classes, they are located in the guides, which is below the Facebook banner. So if this is the first time that you've joined me, I'm Jenny McCabe, and I'm the go-to money breakthrough coach for women entrepreneurs who want to charge their worth and regain their work-life balance. Because money can be really emotional, especially when you don't have enough of it. I focus mainly on changing how women think and feel about money so that they can heal their relationship with money and upgrade their money mindset to, I'm trying to speak and I've got somebody there, so I'll just finish my sentence. So helping them by upgrading their money mindset to transform their income and earn more, and to create that, a better work-life balance. So as someone who's been in business for 15 years, I've spent the first 13, 14 years of my business life undervaluing myself. So I'm really passionate about helping other women with this to build those successful businesses. So sorry, somebody's put, hi, I can't see how to change the settings. I think if in the comments of the post, let me just see. So I don't know if you can see my screen, but in the comments there's a bit that says, I'm going live on Yardstream. Before leaving a comment, please grant Yardstream permission to see your name at the link. So just click on the link that's actually in the actual post, and then I can actually see who it is. But let me just have a look. I do this every week. Click on the link that's actually. Oh, it's Julia. So hopefully, I do it every week. Click on myself and start speaking. So sorry. Yes, I was just saying what I do. I'm also a single parent to one teenage boy. Well, not boy anymore. He's 18 and going to uni in September, and mum to my fur baby. I'm also the host of the Work-Life Balance Secrets Facebook group and Jenny McCabe Coaching, and I offer one-to-one and also group coaching. So again, if you're live, come and say hi, drop me an emoji and tell me where you're based. So today I'm going to be talking about archetypes and how to use archetypes to build an authentic personal brand, which will help give your brand a personality and make you feel more confident in your marketing and in your messaging and who you want to attract. Because knowing your brand archetypes will help you feel more aligned. And when you become more aligned, more closely with your brand, it improves the focus of everything that you do in your business. And in creating a more soulful brand, you develop a know, like, and trust factor for your clients. And, you can start attracting more abundance into your business to enable you to build a profitable and successful business. So I'm going to start with talking a little bit about branding. So branding is... it's a really interesting thing, because if you ask 10 people what branding means to them, you'll get 10 different answers. And this is because it's such a subjective thing. And I think that because branding is a really fascinating combination of a mixture of different elements, it's why everyone experiences a brand a little differently from the next person. It's also what the whole emotional experience of a particular brand. So yes, all brands have a logo, but actually it's not just the logo, it's also the whole experience. And it's also the type of people who buy a PC versus a Mac, or an iPhone versus an Android phone. So branding can seem a little bit confusing at first, because there isn't just one thing you can pinpoint to say, oh, that's a brand. And when you ask people about a memorable brand, a lot of people will immediately think of Coca-Cola or Apple or McDonald's, one of those big brands. What they actually see, or when they think of those brands, they see a logo first. They see the logo in their minds first, and they think that the logo is the brand, but actually it's not. The logo and the tagline are only just a tiny aspect of a brand, because a brand is a combination of different elements that all add up to a brand being the promise of an experience. So your brand is an opportunity for you to create meaningful, thought-provoking connections with your clients, and it also gives you the focus and the energy in building your business intentionally. So that doesn't mean it has to be a serious thing. You don't have to be so serious in building your brand, particularly if your brand or your archetype is the jester or a maverick. And I'll explain, though, what that means a bit later on. So all great personal brands clearly answer three questions: who am I? What do I stand for? And what am I an expert in or at? And using the branding with archetype system ensures that your brand is a deeply emotional experience for your clients, and also a highly authentic experience for you as well. So archetypes have been around for a long. They've been around since human beings have been on this planet. So since human beings have been on this planet, archetypes have existed. And there's a school of thought that comes mostly from Carl Jung's work, his work on personalities and archetypes. And there is a collective unconsciousness that we are all connected through the universal law of oneness. So if you are interested in learning more about the universal laws, then I did a Money Alchemy class, 2 classes actually, part 1 and 2. I did that a couple of months ago on how to use the universal laws to improve your life. I think that's what they're called. If you have a look in the guides, they're all in there. I did it, as I say, a couple of months ago. So the most well-known archetypes are the nurturer, also known as the mother or Mother Earth, and also the hero archetype. So everyone across the entire planet, entire globe, they do understand the nurturer archetype and also the hero. We only have to watch the Marvel movies to get our dose of the hero archetype. So we kind of understand these things already intuitively, and we don't really have to think about them so deeply. So archetypes are images, characteristics, and qualities that are imprinted in human psyche, and they are immediately understood because they are universal. We intuitively understand archetypes because they immediately create meaning and feeling and emotions. And your brands and your brand or brands are about emotions and having that connection with your clients or prospective clients. So knowing your brand provides you with a structured, easy to use method for creating meaning, emotion, and connection with your ideal clients. But most importantly, in a way that is authentic to you. So because your archetypes always reflect your uniqueness, and they appeal to a matching core desire that's currently important and already present within your ideal clients. So even if you offer the same product or service as your competitor or competitors, by understanding your archetypes, this is going to help bring out your uniqueness and your unique brilliance. And you're then able to market your products or your services in a way that is unique to you, because your ideal clients are going to be attracted to your qualities, your characteristics, and your personality. So hope that makes sense. If it does, put a yes in the chat. So an example of this would be I have a client who has a web design company, and she wanted to attract highly creative types, like tattooists and motorheads, that kind of rebel without a cause type archetype, which is the maverick. They're kind of rule breakers and they don't like to conform. So she was trying to build her brand and create content to appeal to these type of to this archetype, if you like. But it just, it wasn't happening, and she's beginning to feel a bit frustrated with it because she wasn't getting anywhere with her marketing. So when she actually completed the archetype assessment and discovered what her top 2 archetypes were, the assessment basically gives you a score. So you know what your score is against all the archetypes. So in her assessment, the maverick archetype, the rule breaker archetype, she actually scored that as her lowest. That was her lowest score. So she was basically trying to appeal to these types in a way she thought that they would be. Yeah, she was trying to deliver her marketing in a way that she thought they would be attracted to. But actually, because she's not a rule breaker, she was totally going against the grain, going against her nature by trying to attract these clients, by trying to mirror her business to attract these clients. So it was really, there was a disconnect there. So she wasn't really feeling aligned with her brand. But when she started to understand her archetypes and started to create a brand based on her personality, her characteristics, and her unique brilliance, she then understood that she by being herself, she could start marketing to these people because they would be attracted to her, not her trying to attract them. So she, after she understood that, she started becoming more aligned with her brand. So I hope that makes sense. So if you want to know your archetypes, if you want to know your top 2 archetypes, let me know in the comment, and I will send you by DM. I'll send you a DM with the archetype assessment that you can complete, and it will give you your score for your archetype. So it will give you your top 2, but you'll also know the rest of your score as well. So today I'm going to talk about each of the archetypes, as I've got these beautiful cards. Oh, and this is, where's the assessment gone? Is it that one? So I'll send you a PDF assessment, but essentially, all falling off the desk. Essentially, the assessment is in PDF form, and it looks like that. And you just answer a series of questions, and it will give you your score for each archetype at the end. So I have a PDF version which has an auto calculate, so you can do that. So if you'd like that PDF version, then please do let me know. Put assessment in the comments, and I will send I'll send that out to you afterwards. So so going back to the cards, I've got these beautiful cards that I'm going to show you, and I'm going to talk you through each of the archetypes. So there are 12 archetypes. I probably won't get through all of them today, so I am going to do a part 2 of this. We'll do this next week. So I thought I would start with my top two archetypes, and my top archetype is thing's going to come off the desk. So my top archetype is the alchemist. So the alchemist is can also be known as the visionary, the catalyst, magician, illuminator, or scientist as well. So the spiritual contract for the alchemist is to make dreams come true. So the alchemist, I'm just reading off the cards, and the alchemist is a visionary, catalyst, innovator, charismatic leader, mediator, shaman, healer, or medicine man or woman. And they inspire people to commit to a higher vision of what they can be or do. Their service promises transformation and often has the allure of an instant change. Although alchemist brands like Weight Watchers produce slower transformation, there is still a marked contrast between where a person starts and where they end up. So this is the alchemist brand appeals to our desire to snap our fingers and experience a sense of magic, transforming ourselves or our situation into what we dream it can be. So that's the alchemist brand. Typical examples of an alchemist brand is MasterCard, Harry Potter. So if you can think that the alchemist is also known as the magician, so Harry Potter, Weight Watchers, Xbox is also an Alchemist brand, and Pandora, and also Spanx. So on each of these cards, if you were to do the branding with archetypes system, on each of the cards, it gives you the spiritual contract and also your brand soul, what your strengths are, your challenges, and some branding words that you can use that are aligned with your Alchemist brand, and also gives you an example of your Alchemist clients as well. So somebody's popped in to say hello. Hi. Hang on. I don't know who. I can't see your name. It just says Facebook user. So if you are coming on, there is a link in the actual post that you can click on to give StreamYard. I get it wrong every time. StreamYard permission to see your name, but I'm just check who it is on the on my phone. Sorry, you've just seen the top of my head. Oh, it's Jules. Hi, Jules. So that's the Alchemist brand. My second archetype is the hero. So I discussed the hero earlier on. So the hero is the spiritual contract for the hero is to achieve grace by triumphing over adversity. The hero's bravery and courage can take many forms, from toughness, conquest, and the drive to battle, and to championing those who cannot stand up for themselves. So the hero finds strength in adversity and values resilience, honor, and ambition. Just wait, look. 07936 I can't switch that off that phone, by the way. So it says the number out loud. Sorry. Okay, it's gone off now. So the hero finds strength in adversity and values resilience, honor, and ambition. So the hero is very much about championing people. The other heroes are obviously heroine, warrior, rescuer, protector, and champion. So as I say, the hero very much champions other people, protects the vulnerable, and has a lot of courage and strength. So hero brands, so there's the hero card again. So hero brands are Nike, the Red Cross, Nelson Mandela is a hero brand, Under Armour, and characters such as Robin Hood is a hero brand. Actually, he's not just a character. I think he's a real life person, isn't he? And Joan of Arc is a hero brand as well. So how are we doing for time? Okay, so the next one up is the romantic. So this is the romantic archetype, also known as a companion, lover, hedonist, partner, or goddess. And the spiritual contract for romantic archetype is to deepen intimate connections. So the romantic archetype's deep desire is for intimacy, connection, and feeling singled out as special. The romantic covers the spectrum from pure sexuality to enduring love to deep friendship. The romantic is attentive, often elegant, and promises a feeling of being loved, desired, indulged, or decadent. And the romantic appeals to our core need to be loved and appreciated. The enduring quality of the romantic appeals to our deep longing for ideal relationships. So that's the romantic archetype. And examples of a romantic archetype are Hallmark, Victoria's Secrets, Haagen-Dazs, Jaguar, Cinderella. So she is a character, not a person. So Cinderella is also a romantic archetype, and also eHarmony, the dating site, obviously romantic. So the Maverick. So I discussed the Maverick very briefly earlier. So the Maverick, also known as an outlaw, rebel, misfit, wild one, or the American term badass. So the spiritual contract for a maverick is challenging the world as we know it. So this is so maverick. You probably know maverick people. So the maverick is driven to shake things up, and they are the rebel, outlaw, daredevil, or revolutionary. They feel like an alienated outsider, yet often possess a romantic bad boy identity that is highly charismatic. The maverick's power to transform is by disruption, breaking the rules, and challenging authority. Their need to revolt is a powerful force behind important social change, yet can also swing to lawlessness and even the victimizing of other people. Mavericks such as the mythical Bonnie and Clyde, or Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid give the rest of us permission to express our dark side that yearns to break loose and challenge limits or participate in forbidden behavior. So that's the Maverick card. And the Maverick, examples of the Maverick brands would be Harley Davidson. Also, Madonna is a Maverick brand. She does like to challenge. She is a rebel. And of course, the rebel without a cause, James Dean, is a Maverick or Maverick archetype. Another one is Jack Nicholson as well. Also, Thelma and Louise as Mavericks. So if you have if you have a Maverick as your archetype, then you're going to appeal to, you're going to appeal to people who want that rebellious and have a rebellious streak, basically. So oh wow, it's nearly past. So the Jester, this is the Jester brand. So the Jester can also be known as the Joker, the clown, entertainer, comedian, or prankster. So the spiritual contract for the Jester is to offer a different perspective. So the Jesters are never satisfied with the status quo. The Jester uses their cleverness to help see the world from a new perspective. The Jester's love of the unexpected jars us out of complacency and reminds us not to take life too seriously. The Jester's disrespect for what is proper often puts them at odds with the powers that be, yet by doing so, the Jester creates possibility for a variety of new ideas and innovations to be expressed. The Jester gives us permission to, at times, be a little bit naughty, have fun, and escape from our daily cares and responsibilities. By making fun of anything and everything, the Jester helps us relax and add fun, spontaneity, and enjoyment into the predictability of our lives. So the interesting thing about a Jester, so obviously you in the courts years ago, every court had a Jester, and it was the Jester's job to entertain but also deliver bad news. So their job was to give the king or the queen the bad news, and depending on how the king or queen took that news, they were basically either applauded and revered, or maybe it was off with your head type thing. So jesters have to be quite that jesters are typically very intelligent. So examples of Jester brands would be or are Steve Martin, Ben and Jerry's, M&M's, Pepsi. So Pepsi don't take themselves as so seriously as because they know that Coca-Cola owns the market share. So Pepsi have a much lighter side to them. And also Shakespeare's comedies are seen as Jester brands as well. So the Jester brand appeals to those who desire to have fun and escape everyday issues. So so I think I'm going to have to write those down, what we've covered today, because we've gone quite far, but I'll cover the rest next week, because we won't be talking about, I won't be introducing branding. I'll just go straight into the cards next week. So yes, I will cover the rest of the cards. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 today. There are 12, so I'll do the remaining 12 next week on the live class next Tuesday, which is the 15th, I think, 15th of June. So yes, thank you for joining me today. Hope you've enjoyed this the class today. Let me know what your takeaways were, and just a reminder that if you want to know what your top 2 archetypes are, then leave a comment below with the words assessment, and I'll send you the archetype assessment via Messenger. So if you've been watching this on the replay, put in #replay as well. So if you are struggling with being yourself and creating an authentic brand, then the branding with Archetypes Unlock Your Spirit VIP Day could be perfect for you, because what we'll do is we will work on capturing your spirit, your personality, and your passion to basically transform you into an authentic brand that you can instantly start using and growing. So thank you very much for joining me today. Next week, we are going to continue with the rest of the archetypes. So have a fab week, and I'll see you on Tuesday, the 15th. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.